Hi, Tara with Guitar Girl Magazine here at Winter NAMM in Anaheim, California. And we are here with another one of our featured artists from our Guitar Girl Magazine calendar, Angeline Saris.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm good. So what brings you to NAMM?
Well, I've been coming for 13 years, and it's a great way to just be with your community, to play music, to connect with your endorsers and do business and, you know, be a part of the whole thing. Yeah.
Who are some of your endorsers?
I work with
That's probably a long list of them.
Well, mostly I work with GHS strings. I work with Fender, which is the bass here. That's my main baby, and I just have a new electric upright from Warwick that I got to custom design. And those are probably my three main endorsers. Work with Marlowe and a few other smaller companies too.
So this year you get to just kind of walk around, don't have to worry about performing or anything like that?
Yeah, normally I demo, but this year I'm just doing some signings, meet and greets, and yeah, no playing.
Well, then we're lucky to have you here with us today. So you have a new project, Angelex?
Angelex. Yeah.
Angelex. Tell us about Angelex.
Cool. So Angelex is basically a drum and bass unit. My friend Lex Razon, we've played together for about 10 years, and we work with about 10 other people in the Bay to create this really full sound. We have a full horn section, 2 MCs, keys, background singers, main singer, and then we're the unit. We have sort of a rotating cast of people that come in. We just released an album called Tight Lips in July, yeah, we're going back to the studio and playing shows. It's fun. It's like a funk, jazz.
I was going to ask.
Yeah, what's the genre?
Yeah.
It's pretty mixed. I feel like good music supersedes genre, and we didn't want to box in our creative kind of goals. So the album meanders, I'd say, a little bit through like jazz, through funk. It has some rock elements, some hip hop elements, but Sean Ray sounds quite funky.
Now, what other projects do you have going on?
I'm playing with Narda Michael Walden. We're coming out with an album we just recorded last year called Immortality, and it's great. I think it's my 4th album with him. So,
now, when does that? Do you have a release date yet, or?
I don't know the exact release date. I know I've got final artwork and mixes that I've been listening to, so I'm guessing probably in a few months.
Oh, okay.
We're going to tour that in the spring. So I work with him. I work with Brian Kehoe, James Nash, and a project called Camp Jeff with Jeff Tamler and Jeff Campitelli. So just kind of staying busy with. Are
you still doing Zapparella?
No, I left Zapparella last February. It was a great run of 7 years, and I love the band. But I sort of decided I could see doing it for another 7 years, and that would make up a lot of my career. And I felt like I wanted to try new things.
Right.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I'm like 7 years of Zeppelin. Awesome.
Yeah. So I just wanted to ask you a little bit about, I've been asking all the artists about their tone, what they look for when they're looking for tone in an instrument. Can you define your tone for us and what it is that you look for in an instrument?
Sure. Well, I would say that the tone that I dial in will generally, I use to best cater to whatever music I'm playing. So if I'm playing straight ahead jazz versus playing really heavy rock riff, I might dial in a different type of tone, because I want to best serve the music. I want it to be gritty and dirty if I'm doing something rock, or cut through, you know, the drums and loud vocals, versus if I'm playing jazz, I want a warm, round, you know, soft sound. So it depends, is the short answer.
Yeah. But do you get that from, I mean, do you change instruments throughout your set?
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes
so you have
I
several
bring,
to play?
Yeah, sometimes I bring a 4 and a 5 and an upright, but overall, if I'm going to bring one instrument, it's usually Fender Jazz, and I'd say my tone, I'd like to have enough. I like to have a nice round low end that sort of fills out the sound. I don't like bright attack. I don't generally play on the back pickup. I play more on the front pickup. If I'm playing really deep reggae, like I play with Ernest Ranglin from Jamaica, I play like right on the bridge, or right on the neck. So yeah, it just kind of varies.
Yeah. Now, what does your practice consist of? I get varied answers, you know.
Yeah.
Some from hardly at all, some, you know,
well,
hours and hours a day.
It's funny, in the beginning, I would log anywhere from 1 to 4 hours a day. I was really doing that. But then the kind of odd thing is then you become more busy. Your practice pays off. You get more gigs. You're working more, and then you have less time to practice.
Right.
So I'd say now I really shoot. If I can get an hour in, I feel like I'm done, something good. If I can get 2 or 3 hours, I'm like, oh my God, it's like vacation.
Yeah.
But the way that I practice is I studied with Kayak Hart. He had this 108-day program where you try and practice for 108 days without any misses every day. So what that's reinforcing is consistency over anything, which I believe is truly the most important thing. If you pick up your bass for 3 hours, but don't touch it for another 3 months, versus picking it up for a half hour every day. Like, I think that's a lot better. So
now, does that go with? Is that just for things in general, life in general, or is it just specific for guitar and bass? That's what you're talking about.
Well, I think it's a good question.
Because it can relate to a lot of different instruments and a lot of different goals you want to reach in your life. Do something consistent for that many days, right?
Yeah, I think you could apply that to anything. I of course, was speaking of it in terms of bass or piano. I learned piano last year. But yeah, if you like a new language or anything, I think it seems to make sense.
I was just curious. Okay, I understand you also teach as well.
I do.
What advice would you give to a young artist starting out?
I would say invest in yourself. So invest in your craft, invest in becoming the best musician, bass player, or whatever that you can, first and foremost. And then secondly, I would say understand that if you want to be a professional in this industry, it's important to look at a lot of other elements of just being like on time, having a good attitude, being prepared, being well dressed, looking, like taking care of yourself. And I think those things are just as valuable as being good at your instrument, because I see a lot of people who can play circles around me who are fantastic, but they don't have any gigs, and I think it's because sometimes they're missing one of those other components.
Right.
So it's really important to understand that this is not just about bass; it's about life.
It takes a complete package.
Yeah, so.
Well, then just to add to that, how did you pick up the bass versus guitar? A lot of the girls, a lot of young girls want to start. They see somebody on TV or acoustic guitars. It was Taylor Swift at one point, or a lot of the people that I interviewed saw, Stevie Ray Vaughan fans or Jimmy Page. Or what got you into bass?
I would say I am a true lover of the low end. Like a lot of people, played guitar and then defaulted to bass because they thought it would be easier or because they thought there would be more gigs or something like that. My connection to the bass is because I love the role that bass serves in the band. It's a supportive role. It's a role that glues the band together. Like if you have rhythm on one side and melody on the other, the bass is at the top of the arc. It is the connecting piece between the two. And I love that position. I love being in the background, just holding it down. And I love the sound of the bass. It's low, it's soft, it's sweet, and strong, and powerful, but underspoken at times. And I don't know, I just I love the role. I love the sound. I'm a bass player.
Well, it's all about the bass, right?
Yes, exactly.
Well, cue that up. Our next issue is going to be our spring issue, and it's going to be all about the bass, featuring bass players. And I wanted to ask you to be featured in the magazine. So yeah, it's going to be featured all about bass.
I would be honored to.
Stay tuned for that. And one last thing, our Guitar Girl Magazine 2019 calendar. Angeline is on the cover, and she's also our March featured artist. So we were glad to have her. And if you'd like to get one of these lovely calendars, you can just go to guitargirlmag.com. And to find out more about Angeline, go to
AngelineSaris.com. Thank you for having me on here, and I'm honored to be with all of these other really famous, really talented ladies, I should say. Yeah.
Great. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.